Hey folks, this is Shantran here, and welcome to my corner of the internet. Today we're going to be taking on Sovereign Spaw and the entire Myconid Colony in one big fight. We've optimized the hell out of this one just for the fun of it, so it should be fun. This is for the Untouchable challenge. I'm playing solo except for some camp buffs, and I'm not allowed to take any real points of damage. Okay, so here we go. I've set up my people on the shroom in the middle, up with Spore, then I put a Mephit down here near the Haste cloud, and another one down here. The Mephits are to pull everyone into the same fight eventually, and also for a little trick that gives me a wannabe surprise in the beginning. I open with Shovel on this guy to deal a little bit of damage to him, and then I get surprise on the main combat, so to speak, at least on most participants there. You can see down here, the Mephit is first. I have an Elixir Vigilance drunk by that Mephit to ensure that it acts first. These don't have great initiative anyways. When I move it up, as you can see up in the initiative order, they get pulled into the fight, but they will skip their turn the first thing. This is going to happen to this Mephit as well, once it gets up there. But I'm not flying it up there yet. You can see there's a single Myconid walking down there, so I just fly down, use that Haste Cloud down there instead. Pull everyone from that side into the fight. Muddy whomever I can, just to use an action. I should have used the other action as well, just thrown something out, but it's very small amount of damage. Now they are all in the fight, and everyone is skipping the first turn. I think there might be one walking around somewhere that's not in the fight yet, that's going to join in a second, and that one will not skip its turn in the first turn. Yeah. Centaur gets into Haste Spores, and at this point, we are just setting up the usual bless thing from the beginning here. There might be less frantic tactical talking over this one. I haven't sped it up as much as the last one, and it's still a very long one. It just felt a bit too hectic last time. So, I'm gonna keep it at this tempo for most of the time this time. I'll speed up some portions. Good. As you can see there, I didn't hit the Mephit, so that's a little annoying. We're trying to knock Spore over. The reason we do that, and it worked on the first shot, which is amazing, is that the fight ends when he dies, and we don't want him running around up here with free attacks on everyone. So him falling down there means we have a good long time to take care of everyone else. This guy can dive just fine. As you can see, just if you look at the initiative order now, you will see that one of them has entered now and is not surprised or missed its turn on the first one. So that was why we had the positioning from the beginning with the Mephits. Glut here tries to deal a little bit of damage to this Myconid. And succeeds. Double action, even though one of them is missed because of the Haste Spores. Haste Spores is really a big part of this fight, just getting extra actions on all of my pets. As you can see, I'm also gone almost all in here. With all the pets and camp buffs and stuff like that, just to see how much you could actually optimize. I've actually forgotten a single thing. I have the wand that summons what's its face, Kana, that I could have used as well, but I forgot to use that, so that's just how it goes. I'm not going to use it in combat. We try to deal a little bit of damage. I used fire because they are susceptible to fire damage, or vulnerable, it's called. And now they're wet down there. I think there are some shrooms or something around the place that when you explode it, they get wet. I don't know how it works exactly. Shovel is not in the greatest position up here, but she also doesn't matter that much. Okay. So, we are just about done with most of the relevant stuff here. Shovel is trying to get down to near the Haste Cloud, or at least to be relevant next turn, down near these guys. We also want her to be doing the invis baiting as usual. That's more or less her job. And now we can skip through past most of it. Glut can move a little bit closer to whatever's relevant from out where he is standing. And this is the single one that wasn't entered from the beginning, so it actually gets to act. You can see how far it gets just in its first turn. I think it's gonna move pretty far. I'm not entirely certain. That was decent. The Bulette is the only one not acting with the rest of us. Its initiative is pretty terrible. It's also slow and hulking and can't move for shit. And when you move it into the Haste Clouds, which I don't think I'm gonna try here, but I'm gonna try a couple of more times during the fight. It has like 90% chance of not working. Simply, I think it's because it's just too big and can't really get in there. But I don't know why it is. It's also the same with if you try to bless it with potions or something like that. It doesn't really work on it, except in specific circumstances. It's a little hard to find the exact spot for this jump here because targeting in this game sometimes. But that is a good one there. It's awesome. The jump and the knockback kills the middle one, that's awesome, and the other one saves, unfortunately. Trying to do the haste spore things I talked about just to see if I could get a bite with it, but it doesn't work. Next round, and we have the methods ready. Let's start by getting some haste. When applicable, I never exactly found out how these haste spores clouds works. Some of the time, you are allowed to use them twice. A lot of the time you're not, they just disappear. I have not found out at any point, neither during testing or during the actual fight here, what makes one or the other do that. So if you know, please tell me. I very much like to know. So Mudbreath and these guys, even though one of them is burning, it's fine. And it's a little sad. I think that might be the only one that worked on there. I didn't see that entirely. But it's still fine. The advantage on attack rolls is more important than the other thing. Got a second method. I should move it into some sort of haste cloud first. I'm just looking around. There's going to be some part of that because there's so many enemies and they're all over the place. At times I need to like get a grip on what's going on. If I slow this guy over here, he's not going to get too close. Even though he saves for the mud breath, he's still going to have to move in mud for a little while. So it should mean that at least he can't get up to me and attack. And now we... the idea was that we should be able to get the method over to the other guys, but it's like barely too far. You can see it can just exactly not reach these guys. If I'd looked at my my movement there, I might have seen that this wouldn't work, but I thought that if I moved that guy away, I might be able to get just a little bit ahead to be able to reach, but nope. And it's not gonna work, no matter how many times I try that. So we have to mud fling instead. And the difference between those two attacks is quite massive. The main melee attack does 3d, I think it's 3d6 plus 1, and the mud fling is 1d4 plus 1, so some difference. We have Synthar here, setting up. He has Sharpshooter now, so he deals a lot of damage with each shots, and you can see I still have 95 to 99% chance to hit, depending on advantage. On these guys, their armor class is horrendous. It's around 13 on most of them. And because of Bliss Spores and all the other nice buffs like Bless and Archery and all that stuff, even with the Sharpshooter, we have a very high percentage chance of hitting. Just contemplating which ones to shoot, where to put my damage. There are good reason to not kill these guys down here because we have the Bulette down there and some other creatures. The methods are quite mobile. They can get to other positions, but there's a lot of the other ones that aren't as fast.
Well, so much for peace.
I think it's still worth it. Shooting that guy down there. I might go to the other side. I can't recall exactly what I'm gonna do here. Yeah. So putting an arrow into that one and leaving it the last part of it, I think. I don't think I'm gonna kill it here. That would be wrong if I'm gonna do that. I think I should go to this other side and start shooting at something over there. And it seems to be what I'm trying to do as well, so that's good. It's also always great. Oh no, please don't. I turn yeah, okay, I'm gonna kill this one. I turn Sharpshooter off just to see if I could get a better chance to hit it, but of course I can't. I'm already at 99%. So, okay. Killing that one is fine enough. It's not bad because there's gonna walk more in before the next ones are gonna hit. But I should probably have moved to the other side and took like the one shot on that. There are more enemies over there, and it would have been a better use of my time to get Synthar into that direction. So that's a mistake from me. Sorry about that. For some reason I can't hit the potion up there. It also doesn't matter too much. We can just move it down here and break it there instead. Minor mistake, not something bad. You could say that it's a good thing because maybe that guy would have acted and actually had an attack on someone. Or thrown the Bipperbang spores or whatever they do. I can't recall which one of them it is. So maybe I was clever in the situation. I'm just being dumb now. That's also an option. Good. Glut here can get into Haste Spores to get a little more movement. And then he should be able to get down to something to attack. If I did not, like, bother with taking a little bit of damage, with optimizing everything, I should just have jumped right down to it. That would have been the correct thing to do, just take the little bit of damage and jump down. But we do like this instead, because I figure I will have the movement, but I do not because of weird targeting. I could probably have just walked down there and very likely actually been able to attack it instead. But what we do here is we dash, and now we only have one attack. So it's less enticing. We go to this guy instead, and we have a lot of movement left afterwards because of the dash. Once you have haste, means that you can actually move quite far. This is a ranged dude. The reason we went to him is that we can just walk away afterwards. That means that this guy down there should not be able to get up to us. So, detecting presence, dashing, this is all great. And he gets into a nice position, so we have a target to attack in a second. So maybe I wasn't all dumb before. That is a good a good option there. Let's just hope this guy doesn't get too problematic. It's one of the restless ones, so he can haste himself, which means the Haste Spore next to him doesn't matter too much. But he should not be able to get the attack because of the Muddy from before, at least. More dashing is what we want to see.
Defend the circle. Stop the decay.
This was less good. Luckily it missed, and I'm also not sure that the Bulette can even be, like... It's a fungal zombie, I don't think it can be... swayed by this... I think it's a mind-affecting thing, and I don't think it's affected by those. So, a melee attack on that guy to deal a bit of damage, and then we jump into the face on this one over here to get the Bulette over to some more targets it can play with. And also because the jump is awesome. Jump and jump, that's basically the role of the Bulette. Once again, as you can see, the Spore Cloud doesn't work for the Bulette. Tank a few attacks there. It has quite a high armor class. I think it's 17 naturally. It might be 18 now with warding bunt. Yeah, I've gone all in on the camp casting just for the fun of it. I said I wanted to entirely optimize this fight. These are the guys that one of the Mephits brought into the fight from the beginning. If we hadn't had the Mephit down there, they just wouldn't have joined this fight because they are too far away, I think. So we definitely want that. You can see that was a restless one, how far they can actually move. That's also why I really like having them skip the first turn of combat, so as not to get swarmed by them too fast. It's not really a problem. We can still take the attacks. But if one of the Myconids attacks Synthar and crits, there is a chance that they're just gonna strike straight through his shield. Their maximum damage is high enough for that, so we don't want that to happen. Go and dip in poison. See if we can find some haste spores there. We're gonna kill this guy. I think Glut might help, but I'd also... I'm probably just gonna shoot him here so that Glut can do something else. I think Synthar's next attack is strong enough to kill him outright, so I don't need the extra damage. Yeah, 21. That should be fine. So this means that Glut can go down and take someone else in a second instead of wasting attacks on that guy when we could just do it. And now we're in a good position to shoot down on these guys. There's a lot more enemies in this side now than on the other one, so now at least it's correct for Synthar to be over here, even if it wasn't before when I said it was. Sorry about that. So it is a little hard to get this shot on this guy. I think the idea here is that these guys are close enough to actually attack the Bulette or Glut if he goes down there, so I want to get them a little low first. Maybe even kill one of them or something like that. And then we'll leave the incoming ones from further down to like next round instead. We should still have plenty of time to kill those in a second. Jumping Glut down into the haste spores here will deal a little bit of damage to him. We do want the extra action though, and I think it's okay. I think I learned my lesson from last time instead of just being skimpy with the jump distance. Just going for it. Unfortunately, we can't get to this guy, so what we're probably gonna do is dash once again. The Bulette should be able to handle the guy lying over there. So maybe we don't need Glut on this side. If I bring him over to the other side, there'll be a couple of targets for him there. And also, Spore will probably walk that way up. And I do have, like, this vision of having Spore and Glut be fighting it out and duking it out in the end if I can make that happen.
Come on, can't stay idle.
So, that's fine. Yeah, this is a longer one. So I'm having a harder time remembering all of the decisions I made during the fight. Also, it's been a little while. It's usually a little while from I record them to I comment on them. So that part is not too different. It's weird what's happening here. As you can see, I've tried putting down the potion 3 times now and it didn't work. But there we go. And we can break it for next turn so that we have it available in case we want it. We shouldn't want it next turn, to be honest, but we might. Mephit time. We should be able to kill some of these stragglers. 11 points of damage. Quite nice. And I think I make a mistake here as well. No, we kill this guy first. That's the mistake is later then, I guess. Let's see what we do. Shovel at least should be able to go and do the bait thing. I think if we move further into this position and go into invisibility, and then we can move out, it might bait one of them in to try and look for her. This guy, if he moves away, we're gonna get an attack of opportunity, so if I'm gonna kill the guy he's standing next to, I should probably do that first. Please do that first. I think I'm not gonna do that. I should have changed to the other method, used its action to do what I'm gonna do here, just to not provoke that attack of opportunity. So yet another mistake, sorry about that. As you can see, that method there is fine. It could just have gone, and it wouldn't even have used a lot of movement to do so. It just have gone and attacked with that one instead. And there we go. You can see the noxious cloud that the Myconid threw before, and the Mephits are immune to it as well. So I think that attack is not too hard for us or too dangerous for us. Or not for these guys, at least. It's a bunch of undeads and elementals. They are not too susceptible to that sort of thing. I think they're all immune to poison, to be honest. If I get the Mudbreath on both of these, they are not going to be able to basically move at all. The combination of putting mud on the ground and applying muddy debuff means that they're moving at 1/4 speed, which is insane for combat control, or for battlefield control, or whatever you want to call it. So those two guys are basically just wasting their next turns from one action from the method. If they had saved against the muddy, it would be less insane, of course, but it's still nice. And there we go with the skeleton. Could probably have put it back up to higher ground if I had the movement to do so before I shot, but that was still fine, even without that. Just from there could have been better. It should still have been in range, and I would have got +2 to hit. As you can see, it dashes, and it still only gets like 10 to 15 feet. So I really like the methods for crowd control, basically, and also their damage is nothing. This guy gets to move really far and decides to provoke an attack of opportunity for no apparent reason. Luckily for him, Glut misses. Paper Bang Spores again, miss. Still think it's immune, I'm not sure. But let's not try and find out, right? I think we're just gonna go and jump it first, because it should be able to kill it. Oh, and it definitely was, that's a critical hit there. 60 points of damage, quite nice. Also, I haven't been using Glut and the Bulette for the other underground fights, because it basically makes it too easy. You can imagine having this jumper running around, trying to eat everything. That means that a lot of the tactics I've been using doesn't matter too much. I wanted to do it for this one, both because this fight is a little bigger, and because I really wanted to show it. It is a cool trick with Glut, and it's quite well known, but there might be some of you out there that haven't seen it before. Not everyone trolls Reddit and YouTube for these kind of things. So, I think this time it didn't miss, and I think you could see that it still didn't do anything. So, it would be awesome if I actually knew for certain, but I do not. That'd be cool. I think they are immune. It would make sense, right? So, Haste Spores, as you noticed, for some reason the first set of Haste Spores didn't work, and they disappeared. That was also a weird thing that happened a couple of times. I think it happens once more during this fight, that I run into the Haste Spores with, not even with the Bulette, but just with Synthar, and it doesn't work. And here we're just shooting fish in a barrel, getting damage onto this high HP mob. And then we should probably deal with the low Spore servant there. 24 hit points means that we should be able to kill it quite easily with any combination of either one attack from Synthar, I guess, or a couple of attacks from all of our dudes. This time I remember to get high ground, just for that little extra chance to hit. And the skeleton takes care of it on its own. These pets that you can get, like the skeleton is from a 3rd level Animate Dead. And it's a spell that I've cast from a scroll in this situation. But it's also a spell that I could just cast with this build I have at this point, due to 4th level Spore Druid and 1 level of Wizard, you can learn the scroll. And they are actually quite nice. They, archers, you have control of them. They deal plus 1d10 necrotic damage on top of their archery thing. And as with all other pets, you can actually drink elixirs. So I've drunk a colossal elixir, whatever they're called, for 1d4 extra points of damage on its attack. That's not a lot, but it's cute. They also have quite nice dexterity, +3, so their initiative is pretty decent. Sorry about skipping the commentary there. I muddied the two guys down there again. I put mud on the ground was the most relevant part, just to see if I can slow them down even further. I moved Shovel away instead of the Mephit because she doesn't provoke a attack of opportunity, just to make room for this guy to go down there. Because it's standing on this room, we can't attack from down. This is the guy where we just miss every attack on him. I think we missed him a lot of times this turn.
I wonder if this is worth
We might actually get an actual attack off on someone. Oh, the horror. Now we're in the portion of it that I'm gonna speed up, as you may have noticed. That's because you need to loot these during the fight. If you don't do that, they are gonna count as stealing after the fight. And basically, I don't want that to happen because I don't want to suddenly be attacked by Glut. I do want to keep the actual Myconid Colony friendly. He's just gonna res a lot of these Myconids that I killed. But I also want the loot from them because they drop haste spores, and the haste grenades are pretty insane for certain later fights where they are long enough that I can't just use speed potions. Or if you have targets enough so that everyone can use the same haste spore cloud for a little while. I'm gonna move Shovel down here and do the Invis bait, hoping to lure Spore into this direction. He's the one standing there. That's the one we want to kill to the end, and hopefully we can drag out the fight long enough so that we get to loot basically everything in between. Bulette versus Hook Horror is a nice fight. I'm quite certain I know who will win. So let's just do that. Once again, trying to see if we can align one of these jumps correctly. It was there. I should just have clicked it there. Let's see if we can find it again. There we go. And I haven't talked about that, but the combo between the Bulette and Glut, I'm pretty sure it was put in on purpose. The Bulette with its jump knocks people prone, and Glut has an attack that deals multi-attack damage to prone targets. So they are sort of like the born pair. Unfortunately, with these many opponents, the chance of them acting together is quite low, and even the chance of the Bulette acting first is quite low. The Hook Horror isn't too impressive, but it does knock the Bulette prone with a jump there. And Synthar is back, and I do think I'm gonna shoot some here, but let's get some looting in first. Haze clouds for movement and for extra actions, of course. Loot all of the stuff. I'm gonna stop in a second just to show the ones I'm talking about when I find one of them and remember to actually showcase it. We're killing these guys here. You can see even without higher ground, we still have 99% chance to hit with advantage here. And Sharpshooter active, of course. They are low AC targets, so it's fair, but even then, all of the to-hit chances are just too nice. We can move up to the Haste Clouds here. I think, did I already go through Haste Clouds this turn? I think I did, so that would do nothing. A little bit of damage on this one. And it should go down now, right? Nope, 4 points of damage. That's very low for a Mephit, but at least we have Glut to finish it off then. Right? Yeah, there we go. That's called finishing. Critical hit. And as you see, Spore moved away before. So he's in a weird position now. I think he decided to go maybe fight the Bulette instead of bothering with these other guys. Or maybe he was going for something else. I don't know exactly. But him running that direction is not something that bothered me, I must admit. The Bulette can't really get too far here. Get a little into a relevant position later, but maybe not. We only have Spore left in the fight now, so the rest of this is mainly mopping up. I need to gather the loot from around the place, and we need to kill him without getting into trouble. One thing I haven't talked about yet is that there are some NPCs scattered around the area, and if you get too close to them, they might be pulled into the fight. Once you kill Spore, they're still gonna turn back to friendly, so it's not a problem, unless you kill them randomly, of course. But Blurk, for instance, on one of my tests, I pulled him into the fight, and I'll tell more about that. As you can see here, these are the hasting spores I was talking about. The Haste Spore grenade is amazing. Those are the ones I'm doing this for primarily. So as I was saying, with Blurk, he can get pulled into the fight, and in that case, you're gonna have a caster, and he does AoE damage, so he's a little annoying to have to play with. But he does turn friendly again afterwards, as long as you don't kill him, so it should be fine. More looting, and also this time, once again, if you noticed before, the haste spores didn't work. Good. We throw some mod in the face, it saves. I think we're just gonna try that again, right? More mod. And then I had this idea that we could let Glut and Spore duke it out a bit. Just let them stand there and see if they can fight each other for dominance of this grove. But Spore is not a fan of that idea. I think maybe he realizes that I'm probably the main antagonist, and he just wants to go for me instead or something. Skipping turns, please. I'm moving Shovel into this position just to try and make sure that that Spore actually goes for the other guy. For Glut is his name. But even though I did that, yeah, that's happening a lot of other stuff. All of this is not too relevant, I must admit. Let's get the Bulette wherever. The only thing I don't want to do here is really to get him too close to Blurg, because there's no reason to get into trouble now that we've avoided it so far. So I try to really stick to as close to this room in the middle as possible. And he tries to dash away instead of attacking Glut there, which means that we can't just have them stand and duke it out and click and turn the rest of it. So we also do need to go and loot some stuff. There's some weird stuff here with the jumping that I run through some spores that I luckily save against. All the way to the other side of the room and turn. Moving the Mephit-Imps around. Yeah, I think I just want to go and Mudbreath this guy. He can't get too far away from Glut that way, and we'll get advantage as well. That's awesome. Fly the Mephit-Imps off the ground, just to get them out of there. Click and turn. Glut, of course, needs to stay. I think I'm not gonna, yeah, don't pummel him yet. We don't want to kill him as of yet. We still need a little bit of looting. Shovel, just get away, really. No reason for you to be down there. Just skip all the turns. Skip, 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 skip. And... oh, he still doesn't want to fight Glut. Okay, so we should just kill him at this point. Get the rest of the loot in. I think we can do that from Synthar now, and then we're gonna kill Glut. And... so this fight was a fun one. I really liked it because there's a lot of moving targets, which means there's more tactical stuff to look at. And let's just kill him here. Yeah, there we go. And we even got some inspiration from being the Haunted One. New management. It's great. So, thank you for joining, if you have been. I hope you've enjoyed this a little more laid-back commentary than usual. Just gonna go and loot, and then I'll see... thank you for joining, if you have been. I've been Shanfran. You've most definitely been awesome. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and bye-bye.